Hi there, good morning to you. Welcome to Newsroom here on GHOne TV, and I am Lily Muhammad. Coming up within the next 60 minutes, these are top stories. NPP's Ashanti Regional Chair, Bernard Enchi-Boesiaku, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, and two others charged over his Akonta Mining's alleged involvement in illegal mining. Meanwhile, Eastern Regional Minister issues two-week ultimatum to all MMDCs in the region to profile all miners and their financiers operating within that jurisdiction. Western Regional Minister calls for surveillance across the region following destruction of rail lines by illegal mining activities. In business, industry stakeholders decry 225% tariff hike will collapse government's 24-hour economy policy. And on the international front, thousands of families in Gaza loved ones in most destructive wars in decades. We have details of these and many others all within this 60 minutes belt. Stay with me. Once again, my name is Lily Muhammad. The Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Enchi-Boesiaku, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi, is currently before the High Court in Accra to respond to charges by the state for allegedly assigning mineral rights without approval. Mr. Boesiaku has been charged together with Kwame Entry, a director of Akonta Mining, and Akonta Mining, the mining company itself. Per the charge sheet filed on Monday, October 6, 2025, Chairman Wontumi and two others are facing a combined 6 charges, with each facing 2 counts, per the brief facts of the case. As filed on Monday, signed by the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, the first accused person, which is Bernard Enchi-Boesiaku, alias Chairman Wontumi, a 49-year-old entrepreneur, is a native of Kuntanase in the Ashanti region. On paper, he is one of the 2 shareholders and one of the 2 directors of Akonta Mining Company Limited. And the third accused person, according to the charge sheet cited by GHOneNews, Akonta Mining Company was incorporated on November 5, 2010, with mining and exploration as its object and principal business activity. The charge sheet stated that the second accused person, Kwame Entry, is at large and is listed as the other shareholder and director of Akonta Mining. My colleague Obed Kingaglo is currently in court and joins us with an update. Obed, what more can you share with us at this time?
Right, Lily. So right here at the Accra High Court, specifically courtroom 4, where I just got out from, the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the NPP, Bernard Enchi-Boesiaku, has pleaded not guilty to all the 3 charges leveled against him. And so currently, the case is still ongoing, where the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Justice Sremsai, is on his feet trying to argue at the facts which led to the charges that were leveled against Bernard Enchi-Boesiaku. Also, what I can tell you is that his lawyer, Andy Apiakubi, tried to pray the courts to seek for bail, because we know that yesterday's bail condition was a police inquiry bail. In doing so, he informed the courts that Bernard Enchi-Boesiaku is a responsible man and will not flee from the country, reason why he's asking the courts to give him bail so that the case can be heard on another time. But Deputy Attorney General Justice Sremsai was refuting that point raised by his lead counsel, Andy Apiakubi. He says that Bernard Enchi-Boesiaku may be popular, but because he's well-to-do, he's a high risk to flight and can flee the country at any time. But let me say on record that he's not opposing the bail condition. So that's what's been happening in the court as we speak. And I must also say that the court is being presided by Her Ladyship, Justice Kwakuvite, and currently the process is still ongoing before I stepped out on the court. So Bernard Boisiako has pleaded not guilty to all 3 counts of approving mining without prior approval by the minister.
Okay. Thank you very much, Obed. That will do for now. That's Obed Kingaglu, bringing us up to speed with what's happening in court. You know that Bernard Boisiako is currently before the High Court, where some charges are leveled against him related to mining offenses. Now, 12 individuals are expected to appear before the Takwa Circuit Court on Tuesday, October 7, for allegedly causing damage to a section of the Takwa rail line at Achim in the Takwa in Swayam municipality. The Western Regional Minister, Joseph Nelson, called on traditional leaders to take control of their communities and urged the Ghana Railway Authority to intensify patrols to prevent further destruction of critical rail infrastructure. The narrow gauge line owned by the Ghana Manganese Company Limited has been extensively damaged and encroached upon by illegal miners. Now, following the circulation of a viral video showing the extent of damage near Achim, a high-level team comprising the Western Regional Minister, the MP for Takwa in Swayam, Issa Salifutela, and a National Security Liaison Officer conducted an on-site inspection on Monday to assess the situation.
I think that for the police, you have to really make your monitoring devices even more sensitive. This didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen within 2 weeks. Certainly, it didn't happen within just 1 month. It's been going on for a while. And so I think that your system for scanning the whole environment must be sharper so that we're able to avoid such damage.
Let's get more updates from our Western Regional correspondent, Joseph Kobna Amwa. Joseph, thank you very much for joining me. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Hello, Joseph. Can you hear me? If you can, I know that the 12 persons involved in the destruction of that rail line along Achim in the Takwa in Swayam municipality were supposed to be arraigned for court this morning. Kindly update us.
Well, like we understood yesterday, that some 12 persons had been arrested in relation to the destruction of the rail line at Achim in the Takwa and Swayam municipality were, however, yet to get any feed from a court as to probably what their charges may be and further prosecution that may happen in court. But as we wait on that particular update on that, the Western Regional Minister, along with some duty bearers who toured the area yesterday, you could see he was visibly disturbed at the instance of what is actually happening there, and he wondered why, if a community, no person, no leadership in the community could stand up and call the people who were engaging in such environmental degrading activities to order not to be engaging in such. So he was actually disappointed that in the whole community, all other persons were mute that and were looked on for such an action to take place. Further afterwards, when he went to the particular site where this manage was happening, he went forth into the community and issued a stern warning to the community that they are not going to spare anybody, and furthermore, the security is going to have their eyes around the community to ensure that such action doesn't take place. And so this was what the Western Regional Minister observed. And we also heard some officers, police officers, that they are actually unable to patrol these areas because the road car, which they actually use to patrol these areas, is not in a better shape. And so this may have also led to the point where the illegal miners took advantage of their mishap to undertake such illegal mining activities around such area along the road line. And also, what's the report that these people took advantage of venturing onto the road line because they had reported from some personnel from the Ghana Railway Company that there is going to be a new line, there's a new line being constructed, which is actually a double gauge. Hence, this single gauge may not be, or any use, and so most of these people thought then it's a free way for them to undertake their illegal mining activity.
Now, Joseph, do we know the people involved, the 12 persons? Do you know whether they are indigents of Takwine Swaim?
That is scanty information we've gathered is that these people are people who actually live in the community, but for them to be for you to know where they are from, if they are actually indigents, that's very difficult to tell. But then they are people who live in the Action community in the Takwine Swaim municipality.
All right, Joseph, thank you very much. Kindly update us subsequently on this issue. Let's still stay on it and find out what your thoughts are on social media. And Nama Akwa joins me. Nama, what are people saying? How are they reacting to this?
Well, we took comments from Felix Kwachiofosu's statement about NIMOS and what has happened, the updates that were going. So Mr. Jibril says, you see the 12 people the police arrested over the railway incident in the Western region. They should be taken back there to fix the damage immediately. Ruben adds, good to see more of these across all regions. They mostly operate at night. On the other side, investigate how they buy fuel to operate their machines, where they get the mercury and cyanide from. Stop these sources. Very critical. Fight from all angles. We also have Kweku who says, Boss Felix, something baffles me. So are we saying upon all these arrests NIMOS is doing, none of these victims can lead the security to the big men who are sponsoring these acts? We also have Aniwa. This won't stop them from going there after the cameras are gone. Put these boys in the coop. Get them a place and constant monitors to make sure they don't go beyond boundaries. Afterward, they level and plant trees for additional fees. We also have Nana saying, good job, but when are you going to start arresting the Galamsey financiers? Eben also asks, what about those sponsoring them? When will they be arrested? We also have here Palmer, who says, after all you said, who do these people work for? Go after the rich people who sponsor them to engage in this. Then we have Franklin, great. There should be a Galamsey court to prosecute these guys within 72 hours. Kweku Freeman says this is good, but let them reveal the kingpin so you arrest them because these are the labourers. The big dogs, he says, are still walking. We also have Quason. Get them government farms to work on. They have the energy. We have these last 3 comments here. Hayford says, are these the kingpins you promised to arrest? Kweku Abuaji says, time to bring their financiers to book. We also have MI, good move, but we need the financiers to be prosecuted and jailed. And our last comment here is from Majid, who says simply, well done. Well, who are those backing these people on the ground? Let's hope that we go for them and let's get the hard hitters. My name is Nanama Akwalili. Back over to you.
Thank you very much, Nama. Now, with regards to the question on who backs these people, a Deputy Chief Executive of the Forestry Commission, Elikem Kotoko, has alleged that some illegal miners now wield so much influence that they play a role in the installments of traditional leaders in mining communities. Speaking on State of Affairs last night, he explained that this growing influence is fueling divisions among traditional authorities in the fight against illegal mining.
We can't rule out the fact that people engaged in this enterprise are seeing good money. 1,000 cities, 5,000, 2,000 a day. Now you want to give him an alternative livelihood and it is going to be 2,000 for a whole month. But we can do this by proper, strong advocacy when we make them know that the impact of their activity on the environment, on the health of others, etc., requires that they must re-understand. I always and have consistently made this example, and I must emphasize it here as well, even if our listeners are fed up with it. It's Captain Planet. When we used to watch Captain Planet, we saw it only as an action movie. But now you can tell that it was about environmental degradation, fighting pollution, etc. So when the young men are no longer able to fight Captain Pollution, etc., then they start and say, well, let our powers combine. Air, wind, heart, whatever. Kwame is also in there in Ghana. So there's a new Captain Planet, which is President Mahama. We are fighting that to make sure that are we able to, if we are not able to, we'll call on him to declare that state of emergency. So currently as it starts, and one critical thing we need to look at is our chiefs, our traditional authorities, i.e. the chiefs, opinion leaders, youth groups, etc. They play an integral role because wherever there's this activity or illegality going on, the chiefs are aware, etc. But some of these Galamsey have become so powerful that they are behind the installment of some of these chiefs. It is the reason also why we have some of these heightened traditional disagreements, etc.
You mentioned And now to labor unrest, where the Junior Doctors Association of Ghana has announced the suspension of their intended nationwide strike following months of neglect and unfair treatment by the government. The association says the withdrawal of the intended strike is based on government's assurance to resolve the challenges. However, the association has urged government to be proactive with the assurance, as the association will not tolerate any form of delay. Here, spokesperson of the association, Malcolm Derry, speaking earlier on the Morning Star with my colleague Nadidi Teti.
He indicated last week we had challenges with the salaries of our colleagues or members within the Junior Doctors Association of Ghana. Following that conversation, we've had engagement with the stakeholders that are involved in the process of solving this. We've met all the relevant stakeholders. We've had discussions, and we've had strong assurances that the issue will be resolved as soon as possible. And that necessitated our current press release. So we've gotten assurance from the stakeholders, the Ministry of Health, the Controller and Accountant General Department, that the items that we mentioned in our initial press release that had to do with the non-payment of salaries for over 10 to 14 months, then also those whose names were removed from the payroll, as well as our colleagues who are yet to be employed, will be addressed as soon as possible. We expect this to be treated as a matter of urgency, and we don't expect this thing to drag any longer.
Joining us is the General Secretary of the Junior Doctors Association, Dr. Rhoda Amadou. Doc, thank you very much for joining us. Good morning. So good morning to you.
Yes, good morning to you. Good morning to cherished viewers and listeners as well.
You intended to go on a strike. Now you say that you've rescinded the decision. What were the assurances giving you, and then what timelines were committed to these assurances?
Yes, so I would like to convey that, as Dr. Malcolm said in the audio you played a few minutes ago, yes, we've had a period of constructive engagement with the necessary stakeholders pertaining to the steps being taken to address our demands. We are still in the process of engaging the stakeholders, and we are hoping that in the coming days the commitments will be materialized. But so, in fact, we have the assurance that the necessary steps will be taken to address our demands. So for now, while there are no stipulated timelines per se by the government, all we have now is the assurance that these commitments will be materialized. So what we are doing at our end is that we have traded the tools of our industrial action for a covenant of trust, a trust that we now place in the government to fulfill its public and private commitments. However, let me be unequivocal that this is not a termination of our advocacy, but it's a strategic suspension. And so our vigilance remains resolute. We shall continue to monitor the progress with utmost diligence, and we will hold the ministry accountable to every assurance given. And should there be any deviation from these assurances given, or a failure to deliver or meet commitments, then we will not hesitate to reconvene and reactivate the industrial action without any further notice.
I know you have a litany of demands. Do you want all the demands met, or there are some priority areas that when government meets them, you also rescind the decision totally?
Yeah, so, I mean, our decision was born out of what we termed as protracted neglect of our legitimate grievances. And so our intended action was a critical step to compel the urgent resolution of the critical issues affecting our doctors. Now, the issues were three main issues. So we had the cohort of our members, over 800 who have not been employed yet. We have the over 200 doctors whose salaries have not been paid, ranging for a period of 10 to 14 months. And then a good number of our members who also had their salaries halted for some reason. So these are the three things that we drew the stakeholders' attention to, and we are looking forward. In fact, we want all our conditions or all our requests met because, as you would agree with me, all the issues that we outlined in our earlier press release dated 2nd October were very critical issues. And so these affected groups are unable to, they would not be able to, go any longer without the remuneration. It will be seemingly impossible because the reality on the ground is that people need money to move to work, to feed and all that. So our demands were very realistic. And like I said, we are counting fully on government to meet their commitments.
Okay. All right. Doc, thank you very much. We do hope that you do not have to turn back on that intended strike. That's Dr. Rhoda Amadou. She's General Secretary of the Junior Doctors Association of Ghana. Let's go back to court. We're learning that Ashanti Regional Chair of the NPP, Chairman Wontumi, has been granted bail. Earlier, we took you to court. Let's go back there. My colleague Obed Kingaglu is there. Obed, we're learning that Chairman Wontumi has been granted bail. Give us more detail.
Right. So Lily Mohammed, Chairman Wontumi, the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, has been granted 15 million bail. With 3 sure month for disclosures, and so basically,
Obed, if you can hear me, I lost you there when you started telling me about his bail condition. Kindly update me.
Right. So, Lily, I'm saying that it is the information you have is true.
Okay.
That MPP regional chairman for the Ashanti region has been granted bail of 15 million cedis with 3 sureties, 2 to be justified with landed property. And also, I can tell you that they are supposed to come back on 28th of this month. And so we see some stalwarts of the MPP come out from the courts. Let's try and speak to them about what they make of the news. He's been granted bail and he's supposed to come back on 28th. Moses Abo, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm fine.
You're live on GHOne TV. We know that Chairman Wontumi has been granted bail. Yeah. He's supposed to come back on 28th. How do you find this news?
Oh, well, so far so good. We are waiting on the lawyers, yes. He has been granted bail with 3 sureties and then 50 million landed property. So I will not want to go further. The lawyers will come and they'll communicate the rest to you. So we are doing 1 or 2 things to see how best we can take our brother out from it.
Let me ask you, you have always been having problem with the bail conditions that usually have been set. Are you sure that this one is a fair bail condition that he can be able to meet?
I will never say it's a fair, but what is happening in this country, for me all the time I keep saying the international community are watching, the Peace Council, religious body, everybody is seeing what is going on. This is a country that is not a fair country. But I will not want to go further. I'm waiting for 1 or 2 things. I'll communicate to you later. But let's see how it goes, okay? Right. Because we are having some intel here and then we want to see what exactly is that thing. We had some information and I want to see whether it is true or false. But if it is true, then we are sorry, Ghana is under attack. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much. That's Moses Abo, who is a former regional youth organizer for the New Patriotic Party in the Greater Accra region. He was in court, and as I informed you, that Chairman Wontumi had been granted bail in the sum of 15 million Ghana cedis, 3 sureties, 2 to be justified with landed property. So, Lily Mohammed, that is what transpired in court today at the Accra High Court.
All right, so you had the Obed King-Aglo telling us what transpired in court. Chairman Wontumi, as we have it, has been granted bail in the sum of 15 million cedis with 3 sureties and then 2 landed property. Then you had Moses Aboy. He says the party is GHOne to find a way to get Chairman Wontumi to meet his bail condition. Still relating to new patriotic parties and its attendant issues, the party has announced that it will not attend a public hearing organized by the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, the PURC, on proposals to increase utility tariff for the 2025-2029 period. In a statement signed by the party's General Secretary, Justin Frimpong Kudia, the party described discussions on possible tariff increases as unwarranted and insensitive given the current economic hardship faced by Ghanaians. Here's a News Desk report.
On September 9, the New Patriotic Party received an invitation from the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, PURC, to participate in a public hearing on submitted utility tariff proposals for the 2025 to 2029 multi-year tariff review. The purpose of the engagement, according to the PURC, is to brief stakeholders on proposals submitted by the regulated utility providers, including VRA, Gridco, ECG, NETCO, Ghana Water Limited, GNPC, and EPC regarding their respective tariff reviews. However, the NPP says it sees no justification for attending such meeting, describing any discussions around potential tariff increases as unwarranted. The party argues that Ghanaians are already overburdened by the rising cost of living, largely due to what it describes as government-imposed taxes, including the recently introduced energy sector levy, commonly referred to as the Dumso levy. The NPP further criticized the levy, calling it one that was hurriedly passed by the NDC majority in Parliament under the cover of darkness. According to the party, the levy alone generates over 575 million Ghana cedis per month, amounting to more than 5.7 billion Ghana cedis annually, and should be sufficient to support the operations of utility companies. The NPP also rejected what it called false claims by government spokesperson, suggesting that the proposed tariff adjustment was tied to conditions under the IMF program. The party accused government of mismanaging regulated utility companies and unfairly burdening citizens with excessive levies and charges, vowing to resist any attempt to impose further increases on consumers.
Meanwhile, the CEO of the African Energy Consortium Limited, Kwame Janto-Esquire, has questioned the rationale behind the NPP's decision to invite that invitation from the PURC.
If they went, they could make their points crystal clear instead of staying out of it. You know, I keep saying that the New Patriotic Party at this point, where their party is, they need to start building confidence. And this is a huge opportunity to go there and state your case. We don't agree to this. Show them the data. Show them the figures. Your evidence to show that what they are doing does not make sense. But if you say you are staying out and they are standing outside pressing in, come on. They are opposition and they are a mini minority. They need to build. And in building, they need to be able to take opportunity, advantage of situations like this. But if they say they won't, it's their priority. They can choose to use their priority in any way. I don't see how you stand out and shout inside when the door has been open for you to come. The fact that they've invited you doesn't mean you're going to agree with them. It's not everybody who agrees with some of these. I remember when CSOs met on this particular issue, a lot of us said things that, you know, made it clear that they could have done things differently. But hey.
We'll bring you the latest updates in business next.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
In business this afternoon, Ghana is intensifying efforts to improve energy efficiency as the United Nations Development Programme, the Energy Commission and the Environmental Protection Authority have launched a new initiative to strengthen regulation and raise standards in the refrigeration and air conditioning sector. Backed by the Climate and Clean Air Coalition of UNEP, the $300,000 project, which starts from 2025 through to 2077, will boost the energy efficiency and curb harmful emissions for a cleaner, more sustainable future.
Ghana is challenged with influx of second-hand equipment with low energy performance, regulatory enforcement and capacity gaps in the implementation of the regulations. To curb these challenges, Ghana is now moving from the 5 stars energy efficiency to 7 stars in the next 2 years. The project will build the capacity of institutions, train enforcement agencies, and raise public awareness on the safe management of hydrofluorocarbons while promoting energy-efficient cooling systems. The Environmental Protection Authority says the Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Certification Regulations 2005 will set national standards for technician training and strengthen control over refrigerants in the market. This is to enable only efficient, climate-friendly cooling appliances into the country while paving the way for a sustainable and low-carbon future.
We need to build our capacity to be able to do this phase out and then the phase down. So having this project at this time is very necessary and relevant to enable the institutions, the collaborative institutions, to do that work. It is in phases. By 2025, we should have done some work, and 2030, we need to have phased out. But as we indicated, the 2025, we are almost done with the phasing out of these HFCs. Yeah, and then also 2045, we have to phase down this.
For his part, Assistant Manager for Energy Efficiency Regulations at the Ghana Energy Commission, Hubert Zahn, emphasized the need to address the influx of substandard appliances. According to him, key enforcement agencies, including the customs officers, will be trained to ensure a swift implementation.
The new regulations, we have increased the star rating from 1 to 5 to 1 to 7 because we want to make provisions for technological upgrades. In addition to the labels, we have created a QR code because we realized that with the age of Photoshop, people were faking the labels. And so now, before you get the label information, you need to register your product with the Energy Commission. The Energy Commission will generate a QR code for the label to be embossed on it before importation is done. Now, as part of this, we are encouraging consumers to download the Energy Commission app, which is the Certified Appliance app, GH Certified Appliance app. This is readily available on iOS and Google Play Store.
The UNDP is supporting governments and its implementing agencies to raise awareness and ensure compliance with the newly introduced 7-star energy efficiency regulations.
The UNDP, as a development partner, sees the need to support this project through the technical support and then financial support to help Ghana achieve its international targets. So basically, international environmental concerns are concerns for all. So UNDP comes in as a development partner to support this tech.
The 2 years project, which is at the cost of $300,000, will also foster a strong collaboration among stakeholders, which is essential for the effective implementation.
Still in business, the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana, the Plastic Manufacturers Association of Ghana, and the Ghana Union of Traders Association are urging President John Dramani Mahama to initiate urgent reforms at the Electricity Company of Ghana within 30 days to address the inefficiencies rather than approve tariff increases.
The associations insist that ECG has no justification for seeking a 225% tariff adjustment between 2025 and 2030, citing Auditor General's reports that reveal over 40% annual losses caused by inefficiencies and corruption. They are suggesting a reset to the company's operations and sealing of revenue leakages instead of burdening consumers with higher tariffs.
Currently, we are not having just a reliable power, we are having power insecurity. The Auditor General's report year after year and data from the Energy Commission of Ghana reveal that ECG in particular is bleeding money through inefficiency, corruption and waste. For instance, in 2024 alone, ECG lost nearly 1/3 of the electricity purchased. That is 32% of electricity lost in 2024 against PULC benchmark of 21%.
President of the Plastic Manufacturers Association of Ghana, Abu-Baidoo, warned that some members are already considering relocating to neighboring countries where power is cheaper.
We don't have any friendly business working environment. I mean, some of us have made attempts, some have already taken the lead to relocate to Ivory Coast. It is unfortunate that the political stability in Togo, it's not too good. Otherwise, most of us would have relocated to Togo.
The associations are urging the public to reject the proposal, stressing that the increase is not in the interest of ordinary Ghanaians or the country's industrial competitiveness.
African governments have been urged to build and control their own data resources to secure the continent's digital future. The call was made at the 2025 Africa Internet Summit in Accra, where policymakers, technology leaders, and internet service providers gathered to chart Africa's next phase of digital transformation.
The year marks 30 years since Ghana first connected to the internet, positioning the country as a trailblazer in Africa's digital journey. To celebrate this milestone, the Africa Internet Summit 2025, AIS25, has brought together policymakers, internet service providers, and technology leaders from across the continent. The week-long summit is co-hosted by Ghana.com Limited and the National Communications Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Communications, Technology and Innovation, and organized by the African Network Operators Group, AFNOG. Chairman of Ghana.com, GHOne, stressed that the next phase of Africa's digital evolution must be anchored in the continent's ability to build, own, and control its data resources. He noted that without strong data sovereignty and safety reforms, Africa risks remaining a consumer of global technologies rather than a leader. He urged stakeholders to position Africa not only as a participant in the digital economy, but as a dominant force shaping its future.
And I want to make sure that we are creating our own data, we are using our own methods to produce our own AI, or at least we have a niche of AI that is we who are supplying, as opposed to constantly using. We use, but want to create our own.
Also addressing participants, the Minister of Communications and Digitalization underscored government's commitment to expanding connectivity to unserved and underserved communities while preparing Ghana to harness the opportunities of artificial intelligence.
From this meeting, we want to have the innovators who would run the next 30 years. People like Professor Nina Kukwenu have run it for 30 years. And so the next generation must start working from now. We're not waiting another 30 years to start. No.
With a theme centered on innovation and inclusivity, AIS25 is expected to chart a roadmap for Africa's next phase of digital transformation, while giving Ghanaians the chance to reflect on 3 decades of internet connectivity and innovation.
That should do for the business news. Up next is the latest sports updates with Benjamin Yamwa Bengazi.
The Business Brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
And you're welcome to sports, where Kratos SBC Horizon Sports Agency has an agreement confirming EIB Network as official media partner for the upcoming Super Volleyball tournament set to take place next month in Ghana. Another tournament which brings together the best volleyball players across the country. We broadcast live on all EIB platforms. Now, Mohammed Aputiag, founder and lead organizer of Super Volleyball Championship, says this is an opportunity they have been waiting for all this while.
It was family. We have been wanting this opportunity for far too long. From 2021, we have been able to build a brand up onto this point. And on behalf of SVC and Kratos, we want to thank the EIB network for believing in the vision of volleyball. We don't see this as just a partnership, but we believe strongly that it is going to help us improve, put us on the map, and is going to give volleyball the necessary height and the necessary attention that it deserves. We are proud to call the EIB Network the official partner for Super Volleyball Championship 2025. We believe that we'll make history together, and like I keep saying wherever I go, indeed volleyball is on the rise. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and we can't wait to get this started.
Meanwhile, General Manager for EIB Network, Nanaya Sapon, expressed excitement about the partnership and highlighted the importance of women's empowerment in volleyball and sports in general. She also expressed a delight that more female athletes are being represented and celebrated throughout the tournament.
To congratulate you on the Super Volleyball Championship, which you're organizing as Kratos SE, Sports and Entertainment. Indeed, sports and entertainment remains a focal pillar for development, for investment, and for creating communities. And for EIB Network, we believe in creating communities. And so this presents us with a very important opportunity to let the sport shine. Volleyball has not been put so much in the limelight. And this is an opportunity to elevate the sport and make people see the relevance of it and its contribution to our society. And I'm also glad to hear that women are a central part of this event. And we're going to do everything in our power to commit our airtime, our team, our resources to helping you push this agenda. And this is a clarion call to the business community to make sure that they are sponsoring this opportunity. Please, it is important to put our sports on the mark and on the global stage. And when we come together and we build and we make the Super Volleyball Championship work, it's going to put Ghana on the map as well. So we invite everybody to sponsor this event.
Now to the Black Stars, where 20 players took part in training at the Mohammed Fit Sports Complex in Casablanca preparing. My name is Benjamin Yamoa or Benghazi.
Let's now bring you the latest on the foreign front. On the international front, we focus on Gaza. Now, thousands of families continue to search for loved ones missing in one of the most destructive wars in decades. Many have vanished under the ruins of bombed homes, while others may be held without contact in Israeli detention. Authorities say at least 6,000 people are still believed to be buried beneath the rubble, but the real number could be much higher as entire families have perished with no one left to report them missing. For families like Fadwa Al-Garban, hope and heartbreak go hand in hand. Her 27-year-old son Musab disappeared after going to check on their bombed home in the southern town of Man. That's it for the bulletin. My name is Lily Mohammed on behalf of the entire team led by Nadima Umar Umarusi. Thank you very much for watching. For more news updates, kindly log on to starfm.com.gh. The news team is back at 6:30 p.m. Good afternoon.